Okay, today is Friday the 13th. All right, usually I'm not this ecstatic, but this information that I came across is just astounding. Thank you to everybody who has talked to me about this. Thank you for your information so I'm able to present it. So pray over this as always. So it could go down just like this. So, you know, the dreams I've had of Russia, NATO, and China teaming up against the United States and all this and all that. Okay, well, it could go down like this. All right, Russia wipes out Kiev, Ukraine, and NATO launches missiles deep into Russia. So China will use the Ukraine war to what? Attack Taiwan. And there's been people that have dreamt as soon as Taiwan gets attacked, we're out of here. Also dreams. Bombs come down, we go up, so on and so forth. So Iran will hit Israel and North Korea will attack South Korea and possibly launch against the U.S. So everything happens at the same time. It's a simultaneous reaction. Okay, and just like the movie One Day After, if you guys haven't seen that, I recommend it. We are just so close. And so this has to happen because the United States and other allies have given the green light for Ukraine to attack. And it even says that U.S. Homeland Security Chief warns of lone terror attacks at election poll sites. And this was posted by The Guardian 4 hours ago. And then I'll read this one in a minute. But it specifically states right here that a Navy SEAL unit that killed Osama bin Laden is busy preparing for possible Chinese invasion of Taiwan. Okay, we'll get into this later, and I'll talk about that in a minute. So back to this, and it says Putin will not sit back and accept this, and that's why all bases have been on alert. You guys have been seeing, I've been seeing a lot of helicopters in our area. A lot of activity, more than what I've ever have, and they're not our normal back and forth planes that's going national or international. And so the shooting of the base in Texas, we know, was all set up, and this event was to validate the security exercises. We always know that there's a false flag. There's always more to it than what we're seeing. So when in truth, they are preparing for war and possibly being hit. All right, and so Civil War started on Friday, which the World War I started on a Saturday, World War II started on a Friday, Korean War started on a Thursday, Vietnam War started on a Thursday. Everything begins on or near a weekend. Okay, and so the U.S. intelligence said that everything will happen all at once, and why? It's because why was China, Iran, North Korea, and Russia meeting a lot? It's because they know that the only way to do this and beat America is to keep the United States off balance with war action here, there, and everywhere. Okay, and we're not going to have enough troops to protect us anyway, especially when we have that many coming against us all at once. The U.S. is not going to be able to respond effectively to multiple actions at one time. And that's why they have different targets, city targets, even though we have our police officers or our FEMA on standby or some of the troops. It's just not going to be enough because when you go to get bombed and war starts, you don't know where they're planning on attacking. So you could have as many people as you want in their targeted cities, but we also know that it might not happen that way, that it could be a distraction like they did in the Battle of Hiroshima, so on and so forth, same thing. All right, and so China is already moving their stuff into place with Taiwan, and North Korea has been moving its troops and artillery to the DMZ line between North and South Korea. And Iran is already against Israel, and Russia is set up against Ukraine and NATO. All right, and so what happens if Russia declares war on NATO? All right, and this is by Chaz Nuki Burden, The Week UK. all right, and say all future PLC brands are supported by its audience. And so when you purchase through the links on this article, future PLC may earn an affiliate commission, whatever. So Moscow has revoked the accreditation of 6 British diplomats after Vladimir Putin warned the West along allowing Ukraine to use long-range missiles to target Russia. The Russian president told the U.S. and UK that giving Kiev the green light would mean that NATO countries, the U.S., European countries, are at war with Russia. An unusually specific warning. And then, as I was reading this, okay, it is now 3:41 my time, exactly at 3:03. I live a mile away from train tracks. There's not very many trains that come through our area anyway. But when I lived in town, I heard them. Not a lot, but I heard them distinctively. Well, exactly at 3:03 is when I heard a train whistle blow. And my dogs was barking, which is weird because in 4 years that I've lived here, I have never one time heard a train from over a mile away. Not once. And I heard it blow 3 times, exactly at 3:03. And I said, oh my gosh, what does 3:03 mean? It means upward. Upward. And in the midst of going up. So I find that absolutely phenomenal. Oh, here it is. It can also refer to the Hebrew word upward, into the midst, among, between, or amidst. And such passages are found in Matthew 13:25, Mark 7:31, and Revelation 7:17. Whew. I mean, this is, whew, I got chills now talking about this stuff. So, now, I don't know, all right, so we talked about this. So, now, this weekend, today's Friday the 13th. Perfect. Perfect timing. We just had 9/11. North Korea launches multiple ballistic missiles after Kim vowed not to. ABC 17 News, that just popped up. How amazing is that? Now, this is from Trump himself, and then we're going to get into these other articles that have nothing to do with the war, quote unquote. Massive news. The Department of Justice just released brand new crime data showing I was absolutely and completely right at the debate. In fact, the data is even worse than we could have ever imagined. Compared to 2020, violent crime is up nearly 40%, rape is up 42%, aggravated assaults are up to 55%, violent crime with a weapon is up to 56%, violent attacks on strangers are up to 61%, car theft is up 42%, and the most serious forms of violent crimes are up 55%. Our cities are under siege, and this does not include the migrant crime and migrant rape spree that has overtaken our cities in recent months. Kamala crime is destroying America, and gangs are taking over. Let's see, Revelation 17 talks about the harlot. She's absolutely the harlot of Babylon. She is fulfilling prophecy, and she's going to continue to do so. So now, this month, I just got chills talking about this stuff because I shared this with some people, and it's just like, gives me chills even thinking about it. Because September 17th, 18th, we have full moon, trifecta, harvest moon. Think about it, the harvest moon. And I believe we're in the month of Elul. Super moon and partial eclipse. September 17th, 18th. We've been through that. September 23rd is the Revelation 12 sign. It is my 17-year wedding anniversary in 2017. On September 23rd was when the Revelation 12 sign took place. That is exactly 7 years. Now, my son's birthday, which I find interesting, is on the Feast of Trumpets, October 3rd. He will be 15. 2015 is when the blood moon tetrads began. Can't make this stuff up. Now, with all the activity that we have been seeing in the sky, all right, NASA, NOAA weather, NOAA, strong solar storms are headed to Earth or as are expected. I am going to upload the pictures that I got last night of my sunset. They are unfiltered, okay? They are from my backyard in the West. And they are incredible. I mean, wow. The Earth's magnetic sphere is weakening. The closer Jesus comes, the more we're going to see these auras. Everything's flipped. Okay. And so it even says the Milky Way's supermassive black hole is spinning incredibly fast and at the wrong angle. So a lot of people had dreams about portals, right? So did I, that I went through a Milky Way type portal circle. I got sucked into it and it just kept getting bigger and bigger and I was sucked into a black hole. Okay. So, and I've actually had 2 of those different types of dreams. One, I was warped into another dimension, which, you know, there's that we've talked about the portals being open to different dimensions and doors and so on and so forth. And other people have also had these type of dreams. Now, this is also something that I found 650-foot high mega tsunami in Greenland sends seismic waves worldwide. Okay, and it is affecting all the oceans to mega waves, and we've noticed that the animals have been washed up to shore. We've been seeing animals that are only found at the bottom of the ocean now being brought to the top. We have also seen earthquakes, massive ones, being hit over in California. We've seen wildfires that's been happening. The earth is literally burning up. The earth is literally crying out. Okay, and this is something that just hit me and I was just like, whoa. It's an asteroid will become the Earth's mini moon for 2 months. Why is this a big deal? How many people, raise your hand, me, have had dreams of 2 moons? How many people have physically seen 2 moons? How many people have dreamt of 2 or 3 moons? So on and so forth, right? All right, so this tiny asteroid will complete a wide orbit over the course of 53 days. And we know 53 fish, 53 is very prophetic number in the Bible. 53 fish, and so on and so forth. But the thing is, it says, don't get your hopes up into seeing it with the naked eye. All right, so starting at the end of September, Earth will have 2 moons, but don't get too used to it. The situation is going to last less than 2 months. And it's unlikely you'll be able to actually see the transient second moon. The mini moon will actually be a small asteroid named 2024 PT5. Okay, we know 5 means grace, 2024, which was discovered on August 7th by the Asteroid Terrestrial Impact Last Alert System, which is called the Atlas. The object is on a trajectory in which it will be temporarily caught by Earth's gravity, according to calculations made by Carlos and Raul de la Fonte Marcos, both researchers at Spain's Universidad Complutense de Madrid. The asteroid will orbit the Earth from September 29th, okay, which is a day before this summit ends, quote unquote, okay, to November 25th, which is actually 1 day before Trump's, quote unquote, to get what? Arrested. And before the 3 days before the ending at 1947 with the 2-state solution and the Palestinian thing that we talked about in the previous video. So it will complete just 1 orbit over that time before canarying away. All right, and it says that 2024 PT5 is very tiny, measuring just 33 feet. 33, we know, is also prophetic. So we don't expect to see it with the naked eye. Even those of you equipped with backyard telescopes probably won't get a good glimpse, as the asteroid will be at the best relatively dim magnitude value of 22. And we know 22 is also prophetic. All these numbers are prophetic. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. We are so there, so here. Now, I don't know everything that we're going to see, but before I do, I'm going to read you this The U.S. will enter a mild recession, and this is by the Business Insider. So the U.S. will enter a mild recession as the economy deflates after its boost from unproductive stimulus cash, former Commerce Secretary says. The U.S. may face a mild recession as past stimulus is drained out of the economy. Why does it say mild? Well, let's see, because we have the Great Reset with the digital currency, and we know that the vaccine passports are going to be mandatory starting December of this year. And stimulus checks increased demand, pushing inflation to a 23-year high in 2022. Key recession indicators like the SAM rule and Treasury yield curve signal economic concerns. The U.S. is moving towards a recession as the economy is feeling the calm down after trillions of unproductive cash was pumped in during the pandemic. And so the former Trump administration official gave a bearish outlook on the U.S. economy in a recent interview with Bloomberg. His forecast is contrary to many others on Wall Street, with analysis feeling more confident that the U.S. will avoid a recession as GDP continues to grow and unemployment remains relatively low. We see this because we see all of these people, even on the news, telling you to prepare for an apocalypse, prepare for a recession, you know, have several months worth, and be prepared for an EMP attack, be prepared for the power grid to go down and stuff like that. It is all over. Like, you can Google it absolutely anywhere and you're going to find it. Like, this isn't just me stating this. It's even biblical. It's even in Revelation, 6, where it talks about, you know, it's in the third seal, an economic collapse. And so, the other thing is I am now a caretaker, and I've been taking care of these people. And I find it strange that, especially yesterday, because we're not supposed to bring up religion or anything, so I've been avoiding it from like getting in a deep conversation. And a guy that I was taking care of yesterday started saying, oh yeah, I got more than enough just for myself for when the collapse happens. And he goes, I'm a believer in God. And we started talking about the spiritual realm and just things like that. It was definitely a topic I did not expect. And then another person I took care of, a woman, she also was talking to me about that. And I'm just like, wow, you know, that's one thing you don't want to talk about is politics and religion with people, because everybody has an opinion instead of going off the Bible, which is facts, you know, where we are in Bible prophecy. All of these things are about to pop off, and they're talking about it this possible weekend. Now, do I know that? No. But I know with the dreams and with all events lining up and how prophetic this month is, we have the lunar eclipse and then we have the solar eclipse next month. And, you know, in Joel, Matthew, Mark, Luke, all talks about the lunar solar eclipses before. And it's talking about a blood moon this month. And we've had the 4 tetrads. And then, you know, Carly's son-in-law had that dream. And then I've had those dreams, and other people's been having dreams. It's all here. Like, it's finally coming to fruition. So here's the information that I wanted to lay out. Be ready. I don't know what we're going to see, if anything, but I do know a lot of people are not prepared for what is coming worldwide. Okay, and that is what we are to escape, is the worldwide catastrophic event that is supposed to take place. And that major thing would be a rapture, which would trigger it. World War III would be a triggered worldwide. All the wars popped off at once. We've been seeing the setting up of this beast system for a long time. There has to be order or chaos to bring order. Now, a lot of people believe the rapture happens and that same day the Antichrist comes and fixes things. That is completely wrong. That's not even biblical. So what happens is that is why we've been seeing the beast system for so long rising, and why people's like, why are we still here? Why are we still? Because it has to be perfected. So when crap hits the fan and we get out of here, there's going to be a short window to where they can finally get people wound up, and then they're going to have order from that chaos. That's why the beast system is set up. So when the Antichrist does rise and take over, everything's already set into place right there. I will see you guys there in the air. God bless.